I'm looking for Jill and Rick Kepsel. Where are the Rick Kepsels? Coming up to the front if you're here. Over here. Not all of you, just them. And I need Mark Gibson. My brother came in from Cincinnati. Where's Mark? Come on up to the front, please. We're going to start in just a minute. Thank you for your patience. Turning over an entire dramatic production into Yizkor space is important, and important to do well. Just find a seat.
You can bring Kelly with you, but you should sit up here, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. I know that it is near N'ilah through Yizkor when I see the light shine through the afternoon light shine through those stained glass windows and create such an amazing play of color. Just looking at you all is extraordinary. So we're going to begin on page 540 of our book, right to left, with Eli, Eli. If you find your Roll of Remembrance book, open to the first page. I wrote this for 39 years of Yizkor services I've led, and from the memory of my beloved father. To enter this room for Yizkor prayers is an act of courage. It demands that our hearts not paralyze our feet, that our eyes release our tears, that our hands open to accept the pain of remembrance instead of clenching into fists. We know that we open ourselves to heartache long suppressed. Despite the pain we know we will feel, we walk inside ready to remember, prepared to hear words and music that will evoke connections of love we cherished so deeply in life. Our sanctuary, already holy with prayers and Torah, becomes suffused with the holiness of memory, memories of hundreds of us who gather our courage, take a deep breath, and enter. Yizkor is the fusion of holy space with holy time, sacred tears with sacred recollection of love. For our parents, our children, our siblings, our partners, our families, and our friends, we sit in quiet awe, waiting for that moment when the tears will come, the salty drops that cleanse our souls at Yizkor. May none of us enter this holy moment alone. May we be fortified with companionship of the living and the remembrance of the dead who are never far from us. May this moment defeat death itself through the enduring power of love and memory to bring our beloveds to life, if only for these moments. To enter this room for Yizkor prayers is an act of courage. Let us be brave together this Yom Kippur. We continue on 542 in the left-hand column at the bottom.
Human beings are like a cord tied at two ends, bound to the earth through their bodies and to heaven through their souls. They're partly animal through the physical aspect of their being and partly angel through the spiritual aspect of their being. They are mortal yet immortal, transient yet eternal, filled at once with misery and with grandeur.
We continue with the sing of Shiviti on page 544. Please read with me the translation on page 544. Keep me, eternal one, for in you I find refuge, and in you my soul finds its peace. Guardian of all my days, you are my cup from which I drink, and the portion of my life. I thank you for guiding my steps, for the inner voice that instructs me. I have set you before me always. With you beside me I cannot fail. So my heart is glad, my soul rejoices, and all of me can rest secure, for you will not abandon me to death. You show me the path of life, and your presence is fullness of joy. We turn to 546 in this wonderful configuration of Yizkor in our new Machzor, our new High Holiday Prayer Book. We'll be lighting 7 candles. 7 individuals or couples have been asked to come and light candles at various times in our service to commemorate the deaths that they have experienced, either recently or in the past. We continue with the singing of Enosh in the middle of 546.
Thank you.
Yom Kippur without my father and without my mother is not Yom Kippur. When the blessing of their hands on my head, just the tremor has remained, like the tremor of an engine that didn't stop even after their death. We continue on page 551 with Shir HaMa'alot.
Shir HaMa'alot mimakim keratecha Adonai Adonai shema bekoli tihena oznecha kashuvot lekol tachanunai. Out of the depths I cry to you. Hear me, hear my voice. Let my plea reach your ear.
553, the death of a parent. Move to the front of the line, a voice says, and suddenly there is nobody left standing between you and the world to take the first blows on their shoulders. There is the place in books where part 1 ends and part 2 begins, and there is no part 3. The slate is wiped not clean, but like a canvas painted over in white, so that a whole new landscape must be started, bits of the old still showing underneath. Those colors, sadness, lends to a certain hour of evening. Now the line of light at the horizon is the hinge between earth and heaven, only visible a few moments as the sun drops its rusted padlock into place. Will Susan Blackman please come forward to light a candle? As she lights a candle in honor of her beloved, please read for personal reflection to yourselves in the middle of 554. We read together the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai mekor hachaim. Blessed are you, Holy One, who gives and renews life.
Page 556.
Esainai el harim mehayin yavo Ezri mehim Adonai ose shamayim va'aretz al yitin lamot raglecha al yanun shomrecha hinei lo yanum velo yishan shomer Yisrael Adonai shomerecha Adonai tzilcha al yad yeminecha Yomam hashemesh lo yakeka veyareach balayla Adonai yishmorcha mikora yishmor et nafshecha Adonai yishmor tzetecha uvoecha me'ata ata ve'ad olam.
The poet Zelda writes, "In the morning I said to myself, life's magic will never come back. It won't come back. All at once the sunshine in my house is alive for me, and the table with its bread is gold, and the cups and the table and the flour all gold. And what of the sorrow? Even in the sorrow, radiance." We continue on page 559. We read from Midrash Ecclesiastes Rabbah together in the middle of the page. They said, in the name of Rabbi Meir,
with clenched fists an infant enters this world as if to say, the whole world is mine to acquire. With hands wide open we leave the world as if to say, I have acquired nothing in this world. For so it is said, naked came I from my mother's womb, and naked shall I return.
We continue on page 560, and I asked Dr. Lee Bierman to come to light a candle for his mother.
Blessed is the life force within us, even in the worst of times. Like dew on the grass, it renews and restores. We pray, may courage come. Let dark fears be gone with morning's light. Let grief give way to confidence and new hope. Together, Baruch atah Adonai, Makor HaChaim. Blessed are you, Holy One, who gives and renews life.
On the facing page, we read responsively, based on Psalm 77. When I cry, my voice trembles with fear. When I call out, it cracks with anger.
How can I greet the dawn with song when darkness eclipses the rising sun?
To whom shall I turn when the clouds of the present eclipse the rays of tomorrow?
Turn me around to yesterday, that I may be consoled by its memories.
Were not the seas split asunder? Did we not once walk together through the waters to the dry side?
Did we not bless the bread that came forth from the heavens?
Did your voice not reach my ears and direct my wanderings?
The waters, the lightning, the thunder remind me of yesterday's triumphs.
Let the past offer proof of tomorrow. Let it be my comforter and guarantor.
I have been here before, known the fright, and found your companionship.
Together?
I enter the sanctuary again to await the echo of your promise.
563.
I needed to talk to my sister, talk to her on the telephone. Just as I used to every morning, in the evening too, whenever the grandchildren said a sentence that clasped both our hearts. I called. Her phone rang 4 times. You can imagine my breath stopped. Then there was a terrible telephonic noise. A voice said, "This number is no longer in use." How wonderful, I thought. I can call again. They have not yet assigned her number to another person, despite 2 years of absence due to death.
On the facing page, Han Shamalach Vaguf Po'olach, Chus al Amalach. Page 565. My father. That every night my father shone like the window in the dark. That every night I was like a shadow clinging to the wings of his light. Tonight my father sweeps over me as over a candle in the dark. As we turn to the next page, I'll ask Karen Levin to come and light a candle in memory of her beloved father. On 566, we're going to read together where it says, "Blessed are the memories." One, together.
Blessed are the memories, holy and cherish the love they reveal. We pray, may our sorrows soften and diminish in strength. May the pains of past bereavements grow gentler with time. Let memory bring us nearer to the loved ones in our midst.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Mekor HaChaim. Blessed are you, Holy One, who gives and renews life.
Page 567, the beautiful setting of Yesh Kochavim by cantor Jeff Klepper.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember as we live our days. These are the ways we remember. We remember. Yesh kochavim shoram magiע ארצה, רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו ואינם. יש אנשים שזיו זכרם מאיר, כאשר הם עצמם עדים מאוד בתוך עינינו. אורות אלה המפיקים בחשכת הליל, הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. הם שמראים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember. We remember. We
On the next page is a beautiful blue with white print. Collage of phrases expressing love and regret, remembrance and remorse. As we continue with our prayers, you might choose to look at that to evoke the feelings in you. The traditional Yizkor prayers are found on 570 and 571. We give you a minute of silence to read the prayers and insert the name of the person for whom you are observing Yizkor this Yom Kippur. 576. I'm still on a rooftop in Brooklyn on your holy day. The harbor is before me, Governor's Island, the Verrazano Bridge, and the Narrows. I keep in my head what Rabbi Nachman said about a world being a narrow bridge, and that the important thing is not to be afraid. So on this day, I bless my mother and father, that they not be fearful where they wander. And I ask you to bless them, and before you close your book of life, your Sefer HaChaim, remember that I always praised your world and your splendor, and that my tongue tried to say your name on Court Street in Brooklyn. Take me safely through the Narrows to the sea. Will Mark Gibson please come forward to light a candle in memory of our father? As he does so, we read in the middle of the page on 578. Blessed is the life of every soul,
pure and bright, the breath of God within us. We pray. Help us know the infinite wisdom that gives life and takes it away. Forgive us for anger, bitterness, and selfishness. Teach us the language of healing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Makor HaChaim.
Blessed are you, Holy One, who gives and renews life.
We continue on page 581.
I do have an ongoing relationship with the dead, and I do think about the afterlife, my afterlife, that is, after someone I know dies. What happens to me afterwards in my life? Some deaths come too soon. Some deaths are unexpected. Some deaths we think we are prepared for, but really, we are rarely ready. We don't usually know when a conversation is the last conversation, with so much that may be left unsaid, unresolved. So in this afterlife of mine, I am still in relationship with people who have died. I miss them. I talk to them in my mind. I ask them questions about our relationship that I wasn't ready to ask them when they were still alive. I show off my accomplishments and wish they could witness them. And yes, I still have some of the same old arguments, still trying to prove my point of view. What helps me go forward? How do I resolve these lingering feelings? Here is what makes the Yom Kippur Yizkor so special. This forgiveness prayer, devoted exclusively to those no longer with us, that comes late in the afternoon when we are tired, hungry, vulnerable, and open. During this Yizkor, I am given the opportunity to forgive myself for cutting off that last phone conversation with my father. I was always in a hurry. He always wanted to chat longer, and then he died. It's during this Yizkor that I have the opportunity to forgive my mother for her harsh ways, to let go of being angry for my sake in this world, if not for her sake in the world to come. For this Yizkor to feel honest and meaningful, I don't want to sentimentalize those relationships. I don't just want to remember the ideals and gifts they may or may not have passed down. I want to remember those relationships exactly as they were, and then be able to forgive myself and them for our failings, for what we never got a chance to repair or finish.
Page 583, at the top, we read the verses responsively. Let the light of late afternoon shine through chinks in the barn, moving up the bales as the sun moves down.
Let the cricket
take up chafing as the woman takes up her needles and her yarn. Let evening come.
Let dew collect on the hoe abandoned in long grass. Let the stars appear and the moon disclose her silver horn.
Let the fox go back to its sandy den. Let the wind die down. Let the shed go black inside. Let evening come.
To the bottle in the ditch, to the scoop in the oats, to air in the lung, let evening come.
Let it come as it will, and don't be afraid. God does not leave us comfortless, so let evening come.
Stand. One, two, three, 1, 2. Adonai li velo ira, v'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira. Ruchi, v'heti shan v'ahira, v'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira, v'imruchi geviati, Adonai li velo ira. One more
Page 584, and we invite up Shirley Goldstein to light this candle, the fifth candle. And we join together. Blessed is the path to acceptance, very near and sometimes distant as the horizon. We pray that our moments of joy surpass the times of struggle, that we taste the sweetness of each precious day, that the work of our hands brings fulfillment. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikor HaChaim. Blessed are you, Holy One, who gives and renews life.
Jamie, if you cannot fricassee, fry a hen. My dad said this often when I was only a kid. I had no clue what it meant then, and I'm equally mystified 6 decades later. My dad had a lot of sayings like this that made no sense to anyone but him. Chili today, hot tamale. Really, Dad? What in the world does that mean? This family is run as a democracy. Each of you 5 kids gets a vote. I get 12. Right, Dad. Right. 30 years ago, a woman named Michelle Slung published a book called Momilies. It was filled with the time-honored wisdom of mothers. It was replete with sayings like, never run with a lollipop in your mouth. Don't pick at that scab, it'll never heal. Always wear clean underwear. You never know when you might be in an accident. And my favorite, clean your plate. Don't you know that there are starving children, and you fill in the blank from your experience, China, India, Africa. My mom has her expressions, but the ones that really stick with me are my dad's, especially now that he's gone. I call them daddilies instead of momilies. Not all of them were nonsensical or silly, but they all make me smile because they bring him back to life. He told me if you want to be happy and successful in life, find something you love to do and then find people crazy enough to pay you to do it. That one has guided me for almost 40 years. My brother Stuart remembers him saying, if it makes you happy to be happy, be happy. If it makes you happy to be unhappy, be unhappy. I admit I've used that on one of my own kids. He also told us you never learn by succeeding, only by failing do you figure out what went wrong to make it better. And the hits, the daddlies just keep coming. These from the memories of my brother Rick and sister Jessica. Don't do as I say, do as I say, not as I do. My favorite, don't make me pull this car over. Every dollar is an Iron Man. Don't get arrested. Nobody ever said life was fair. Money isn't good or bad. It just gives you the ability to make choices. If you don't like what you're doing, find something else. And if you don't like that, find something else. His sayings weren't only for family. His most famous maxim, the one that made him famous in business more than 50 years ago, was, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. My father's name was Lawrence David Gibson. He was the son of depression, the eldest of 3 siblings. He was the first in his family to go to college, the first to succeed, earning high honors. He was the first to make it in business, fighting anti-Semitism, battling it in companies in New York and in Minnesota. He was married to Lois Kestenbaum Gibson for the better part of 68 years. He was dad to 5 children birthed in one miraculous 7-year stretch. He was wonderful and he was deeply, deeply flawed. But he got healed of his demons in his early 50s and spent much of the rest of the last 38 years on earth trying to make amends to family and friends alike. Dad's approval was harder to get than Mom's, but worth waiting for when you finally got it. Later in life, he became a softer touch, just glad to be around for the party, happy to be loved by his family despite the terrible mistakes of his younger years. In those sweeter years, he became the grandfather of 7 children, and finally the great-grandfather of my one, little Noah. He had a keen analytic mind and didn't always show patience with those who couldn't keep up. That was evident not only in business, but in his lifelong advocacy work for Jewish social justice. This Yizkor talk is for him, but I hope that some of what I share strikes a note of familiarity for all of us who mourn our beloveds today. The awkward tenderness I feel, the brokenness and joy thoroughly blended, is something all of us knew we would experience when we chose to enter this room. This letter to him, written only now, a year after his death, is a tribute of love. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for letting me share it with you at Yizkor. Dear Dad, it's hard to believe that you were here on this pulpit little more than a year ago. You were here to celebrate the naming of Noah Pearl Gibson, your great-granddaughter, the first of your 4th generation. You beamed and were uncharacteristically quiet during that visit. The travel had taken a lot out of you and Mom, but you sat holding Noah with quiet wonder, knowing that something in you had been made whole by her birth. I believed that you were always the smartest man in the room, at least when it came to ideas. I wish you had been as smart, especially when you were younger, when it came to relationships. In your 89th year, you had the sense that as healthy as you felt, precious days were fleeting and, yes, numbered. You said to our sister Jessica, I know that things are going great now, more than I have a right to expect. I just want you to know that if God forbid anything were to happen to me, it's all right. I've lived a good life, and it's all right. It really is. It didn't feel all right at the moment I was told that you had been hit by that car on the first day of Sukkot last year. It felt as if the whole world, my whole world, was crumbling. We rushed out to see you in Minnesota. We held your hand and stroked your brow, even as the brain bleed took you slowly from us minute by minute. I've come to understand what so many in my congregation have described to me in the face of death, especially the sudden death of a family member. Shock overwhelms emotion. It took 2 days for my tears to come. Shock, I've come to learn, is the way we insulate ourselves from having to accept the full brunt of the terrible at once, whether it is physical or emotional. Shock is why I was able to cradle your head and caress your hair instead of simply dissolving on the spot. Shock is what allowed me to laugh and make jokes in your presence even though you were dying in front of my eyes. Shock protected me from the worst of that moment. But shock only delays delivery on emotion. It certainly doesn't dissipate it. And that has come in waves over the last 11 and a half months. Knowing you'd be worried about the effect of your death on me and all of us in the family. And let me say that for my part, I've been cradled in love by my congregation. This family the 1,800 strong, compassionate souls of this place. I'm eternally grateful to them for allowing me to mourn, cry, breathe, and eventually regain my equilibrium. I'm just as grateful to you for being the Father who engendered integrity, emotion, passion, and love. Knowing you, you'd smile and quote Ogden Nash, your favorite humorous poet, and say, like talcum, you're welcome. Dad, thanks for everything. Thanks for it all. The love, the craziness you put us through, the laughter, the anger, the healing, the commitment, the passion, the love. Yes, I know I already said the love, but it was such a part of you, such a gift you gave to me, that it bears repeating. God, I miss you. I will miss you until the end of my life, but I believe with every fiber of my being that you continue to live in my heart and in those of every one of your 4 generations and the countless people you touched in business, the arts, and the Jewish world, and the 12-step community. You touched so many for the good, and I'm so proud. So very proud to be your son. I ask God this day, may I be gifted with 1/10 of your spirit, and I will consider myself blessed beyond measure. For you were such a blessing to me. Your loving son, Jamie. Such letters you could write as well. Such letters filled with Mama-lies and Dadda-lies, Sister-lies and Brother-lies, Aunt-lies and Uncle-lies, Partner-lies and Friend-lies. Some of us could write notes of wrenching emotion reflecting what our children taught us before they died, leaving before their time. I would offer this at Yizkor today, this moment. The time spent writing a letter to someone you mourn today is a moment you have brought them back to your heart space, to full awareness, not mere memory. Try it. Try it over the next few days. The words might help you carry the burden of loss and memory with a grace you might not have realized that was always inside of you. Thank you for indulging me this day. I wish comfort and ease for each of us caught in the full throes of remembrance. Each of us who experience without filter or shame the deep loving connection of those who made us who we are. We come to Yizkor today both for ourselves and our community. And I hope and pray with all my heart that we experience some balm within as we remember the best of the best souls in our lives. I hope and pray with all my heart that everyone here feels accompanied by someone else. You are not alone in this moment. You do not have to be alone tomorrow. You are of infinite worth. You deserve to be treasured, even as you treasure the life and remembrance of those you honor today. It is said we are not judged by what we did not accomplish. We are judged by what we did not even try. Let us honor those we loved so much in life by trying in their name to live up to their hopes, their ideals, their love. Then that love will live on in us, through us, beyond us, forever. Forever. At the top of page 585, my partners are going to carry the burden of singing here. I seem to have some liquid in my eyes. Same as last night. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, shall reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap, shall reap in joy. This is not a performance, it's a prayer. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. who sow in tears will reap in joy. Let's have your harmonies in your hearts. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. No guitar, just your voices. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Last time, softly now. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy, will reap in joy. Those who sow in tears will reap in joy.
Gratitude for the next generation. If some messenger were to come to us with the offer that death should be overthrown, but with the one inseparable condition that birth should also cease, if the existing generation were given the chance to live forever, but on the clear understanding that never again would there be a child or a youth or first love, never again new persons with new hopes, new ideas, new achievements, ourselves for always and never any others, could the answer be in doubt? When we fear death's decree, let these bring us solace, the memory of loved ones who have gone before us, and a vision of generations to come through whom we reach far into the future, beyond our own lives. Page 587.
One leaf left on a branch and not a sound of sadness or despair. One leaf left on a branch and no unhappiness. One leaf left all by itself in the air, and it does not speak of loneliness or death. One leaf, and it spends itself in swaying mildly in the breeze.
Page 590. Rabbi Judah taught, there are 10 strong things. Iron is strong, but fire melts it. Fire is strong, but water quenches it. Water is strong, but the clouds evaporate it. Clouds are strong, but wind drives them away, and wind is strong, but the human body bears it. Human beings are strong, but fear casts them down. Fear is strong, but wine allays it. Wine is strong, but sleep overcomes it. Sleep is strong, but death is stronger. And loving kindness survives even death.
We continue on page
591.
We're going to ask Jill and Brick to come up and light candles in honor of their parents. We read together in the middle of the page.
Blessed is the pilgrimage from grief to gratitude. Precious are the sights along the way. We pray for humility, to see in all things the great artist of eternity, for generosity to respond to the gift of life by giving of ourselves, for strength to hold on to life and let it go. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekor HaChaim. Blessed are you, Holy One, who gives and renews life.
593.
No other psalm, perhaps no other prayer, but the Kaddish itself is as inseparable from our experience of grief and mourning as the 23rd. One phrase so simple and direct, yet emotionally profound, has made it so. Ki ata imadi, for you are with me, or in the language of an earlier age, for thou art with me. To arrive at those words after passing through the valley of the shadow of death is to know in the words of Rabbi Joshua Loth-Liebman, that God contains and supports us as a mighty ocean contains and supports the infinitesimal drops of every wave. To arrive at those words is to feel at home in the cosmos, held and comforted, cared for and serene. The 23rd Psalm does not make promises that cannot be kept. The end of all evil, the eradication of suffering and pain, sunshine instead of shadows. It makes but one promise, only this: you are not alone.
Adonai ro'i lo echsar binot teshayar bitzeni al mei menuchat yenaleni nafshi Gam ki elech begit al mavet lo ira rak yatayim adi shivtecha umishantecha v'moynachamuni taroch lefanai shulchan neged zorerai tishanta v'Hashem en roshi kosir revaya ach tov achesed yirdefuni kol yemei chayai v'shavti beved Adonai leorech yamim.
I'm going to ask Saul Strassman to come forward to light a candle for his father. It's on page 596.
And we join together at the bottom of the page. Blessed is peace, for all blessings flow from it.
Precious is peace, for without it no blessing is complete. We pray for inner serenity, for peace of mind, for the feeling of at-homeness in the universe and in our hearts. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekor HaChayim. Blessed are you, Holy One, who gives and renews life.
The bottom of the facing page. Our loved ones live in our broken hearts, and at times that brings some measure of healing. Their acts of kindness and generosity are the inheritance they leave behind. We feel their absence, but the beauty of their lives abides among us. As it is said, the name of one who has died shall not disappear. Our loved ones' names and their memories will endure among us, and these are the names on our lips and in our hearts of those who died in the last year. Sidney Philip Antonoff, Beatrice Backman, Myra June M.J. Bierman, Leonard Bernstein, Michael David Blackman, Jack Blackman, Elizabeth Brown, Vincent Bucci, Rabbi Marcus Burstein, Linda Bushkoff, Harriet Hope Sharap, Queenie Tchaikovsky, and Edgar Allan Edelsack, Doré Epstein, Arthur F. Friedland, Irv Gaines, Larry Gibson, Morton Goldstein, and Barry Goldstein. Dorothy Goldstein, Eleanor Goodman, Catherine Gordon, Leonard Gordon, Rennie Green, Lee Hammerschmidt, Harvey Hauptmann, Selma Jackson, and Henny Uriansmeyer, Samuel German, Sir Rosalind Kahn, Bonnie Barclay Kay, Jack Klein and Beatrice Klowski, Paul Marcus Kosman, Rachel Latterman, Florence Lebov, Barry Limbersky, Bernice R. Levine, David and Tanya Levine, Zelda Limsey, Roz Littman, Frank Lowenstein, and Leslie C. Marcus, Shirley Myers, Joe Machutka, Penelope Rose Miller, Ann Kit Minden, Fritz Ottenheimer, Joyce Malvina Pearl, Harold Raffson, Donald Robinson, Joseph Rakowski, Elfie Rook, Dan Rosenthal, Sidney Rosenthal, Betty Rubinoff, Charlotte Rudell, Gail Ryev, Frida Safian, Joseph Shondor, and Julian Schiller, Emily Siegel, Josie Shames, Leanne Schulgold, Shirley Gertrude Sigismund, Louise Silverman, Ruth Leah Steinfeld, Leonard Stept, Mervyn Stewart, Robert Straussman, Rowena Surloff, Marvin Tanzer, Charlene Tarlow, Myron Taube, Rick Weiner, Francis Wahlberg, Lou Walker, Clarice Warren, Sandy Wedner, Lori Sue Weisberg Goldberg, Melvin Allen Weiss, Yona Wilf, Mark Clifford Witt, Jerry Wolfson, and Ruth Tabor Woods. If there's the name of somebody we did not have, I deeply apologize. Everyone we could get through this week, we tried to name. We now continue on page 599. In the middle of the page, you'll see for the 6 million in all who died in the Shoah, and after that we'll have the El Malei Rachamim. Together, let there be perfect rest
For the souls of the 6 million who died as Jews in the flames of the Shoah, let there be perfect rest for the countless millions who died because of race, religion, or nationality, political affiliation, or sexual orientation. Hold them close to you forever. Seal their souls for everlasting life in the shelter of your presence, for you are their eternal home. Together we say, Amen.
These are those children who were taken in Convoy 38, September 28, 1942, and September 30th, 1942. Not all of them, but just some. Henri Adonai, Lisette Adonai, Samuel Adonai, Zizi Adonai, all from Paris. Michel Bouc, César Katz, François Katz, Giselle Katz, all of them from Paris. Simone David, also from Paris. Henri Goldenberg, Hermann Goldenberg, Michel Goldenberg, from Paris, Jassy, and Paris. Beatrice Katz, Marie Katz, Max Katz, Susie Katz, from Paris and from Liège. Jean Salomon, her sister Yvonne Salomon, both from Paris. Jacques Vigder and Monique Vigder, both from Paris. Esther Siokowski, 16 years old, Limoges. Sarah Horel, 15 years old, Brussels. Klarman Adele Klarman, Kamenik, 15 years old. Flora Klarman Bisco, 15 years old. Elie Nino, from Paris, 11 years old. Mathilde Nino, from Clichy, 8 years old. Maurice Nino from Sofia, 12 years old, and Jakob Stolak from Pulstuk, who was 14 years old. In honor of all of them, in honor of our own dead, we rise for El Malei Rachamim on page 598.
El Malei Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hametzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashina, Im Kedoshim Utorim Kezohar Arkia Masirim, Lenishmot Yakirenu Shehalchu Leolamam, Barach Rachamim Yasirem יסת כנפיו לעולמים, ויצרור ביצרור החיים את נשמתם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, וינוחו בשלום על משכבם, ונאמר Amen.
Together, merciful God, God Most High, let there be perfect rest for the souls of our loved ones who have gone into eternity.
May they find shelter in your presence among the holy and pure, whose light shines like the radiance of heaven. Compassionate God, hold them close to you forever. May their souls be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May they find a home in you, and may they rest in peace. Together, we say Amen.
Please be seated for a moment. There is one more reading before we say Kaddish for all our beloved, dear ones, those who still live on inside of us as we've read so eloquently today. There will be no formal break between Yizkor and N'ilah. I know some of you will need to leave. I just ask that you do so quietly and respectfully. If there are those in the back who have come for N'ilah, we'll ask you to come forward, especially if you have children. If you are able to stay for N'ilah and the final shofar blast, which is truly the capper of the day, truly the bookend going into Havdalah for Shabbat and Yom Kippur. It's an extraordinary moment of closeness in this community. But we certainly understand that you have obligations and people to see and many mouths to feed. At the end of our N'ilah, we will have a breakfast set up at the back table all the way in the back of the Falk Auditorium, so you'll be able to break fast here on your way to wherever you're going to break fast there. One last reading before Kaddish. Page 602, we read together in the middle of the page. We miss them at celebrations when there's an empty seat at the table. We miss them when the community gathers and there's an empty place beside us. We miss them today and every day and every year that passes as our life goes on without them. Their faces, their voices, the feel of our arms around them, these are with us forever. So it is written, love is strong as death. The love we gave, the love we received.
These endure amid the pain of loss.
606, if you are able, please rise for Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bi'olma divrach irutei, V'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'alav v'bizman kariv v'imru Amen.
Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach, V'olam le'almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shmei d'kudsham rikhu, Le'ela u'le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
We continue with N'ilah on page 612. Please be seated if you are staying. The long day is over and the gates are closing. Slowly day fades into dusk, soon the earth will darken. Our bodies, weak and weary, our inner strength undiminished. This day has been a gift, uncluttered time, free from hurry and routine, appointments and assignments, a time to face our sins and imperfections, our dreams and yearnings for the life we want to live, a time to leave the clamor of the world and attend to the voice within. Long ago, the temple gates were locked at dusk, so too at this hour the gates of Yom Kippur begin to close. Have we done all that needed to be done? said everything that needed to be said. Together, the gates of God's compassion never close.
But soon enough, our lives close in on us. Now, in the silence of the soul, now before the holy day comes to an end, release the unshed tears, the deepest prayers locked in our hearts.
Continue as the choir sings P'tach Lanu on the facing page at the top. At the bottom of the page, again the day rolls into darkness. The sky spills its pinks and purples, draining to blackness. Deep inside there is a closing, a small gate swinging shut in the mind. Those last few thoughts rush through and a life is sealed. Outside the temple, a lone bird sounds its call and waits for response. We continue with the singing of El Nora Alila on page 614. The choir is singing. If you know the tune, please join. together.
El Nora Lila, El Nora Lila, Amsela Nevila,
Page 616. Karen, that's yours.
We join together. This is the fast I chose. It reminds me that I can master the appetites of my body and decide when and how I will satisfy them. This is the fast I chose, lifting me for this one holy day above my animal nature. This is the fast I chose. It teaches me that I am a human being, capable of reflection, self-discipline, and moral behavior. I chose this fast as an act of purification. I rededicate myself to a life of purpose. I chose this fast as an act of solidarity. I link myself to my Jewish brothers and sisters everywhere.
I chose this fast as a spur to compassion.
I will not forget those who hunger and suffer all over the earth. As my ancestors once drew near to you by making an offering on the altar, so I have made an offering of myself, my body's strength diminished, my pride brought low. Willingly and intentionally I chose this fast. May I carry its lessons with me when I leave this place.
The Chatzi Kaddish before the final Amidah. The Amidah of N'ilah is on page 620. As you are able, please rise.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah V'yalem ad yivarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayei kol Beit Yisrael B'gala b'zman garif v'yimeru Amen Yehi Shemei Rabbah mevorach Le'olam u'le'almei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal Shemei dekurasha berichu li'elah u'li'elah min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran v'lema v'yimeru Amen.
The Tefillah is on page 622.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el hagadol hagibor v'hanora El Elyon Gomel chasadim tovim v'konei hakol
וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. זוכרנו חיים, מלך חפץ בחיים,
לכבוד פנינו בספר חיים.
מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריר אתה, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדום מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. מי כמוך אל הרחמים, זוכר זוכר יצוריו לחיים ברחמים, בנאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
We read on 629 at the top together.
Holy is your name, holy is your work.
Holy are the days that return to you. Holy are the years that you uncover. Holy are the hands that raised you and the weeping that is wept to you.
Holy is the fire between your will and ours, in which we are refined. Holy is that which is unredeemed, covered with your patience. Holy are the souls lost in your unnaming. Holy and shining with a great light is every living thing, established in this world and covered with time, until your name is praised forever.
We continue on 630.
Seal us for holiness and blessing in the book of life, for you are holy and your name is holy, and we yearn to enter your gates in holiness. For you hold out your hand to those who do wrong. Your right hand opens wide to receive those who return.
On page 633. I aspire to an eloquent seeing of all earth's seasons, inspired touching of flesh, flower, and stone, true hearing of others, journey, self, and terrain, the difficult dignity of individual thought, an inner burning of commandment, a sometimes certainty of divine presence, weaving of sorrow into becoming, upwelling of seated but surprising joy into this life courageously toward the unknown purpose. On page 634 at the top.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני המלך הקדוש.
Amen. Now, at this point, I will be opening the ark, and anyone who wants to complete the N'ilah service up here by the open ark is welcome to join us. Anybody who needs to sit, sit. We believe in a compassionate God. But while the ark is open and those who want to stand, please remain standing. Those who want to join us on the pulpit, please come now. 635.
Page 635. There's a thread you follow. It goes among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread. But it's hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen, people get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread.
On the next page, you chose us with love to be messengers of mitzvot, and through us you made known your aspirations. Together,
among all the many peoples, you gave us a pathway to holiness. Among all the great nations, you uplifted us and made yourself our sovereign. And so we seek you and serve you and celebrate our nearness to your presence. Your great and sacred name has become our calling. ותיתן לנו אדון אלוהינו באהבה את יום השבת הזה לקדושה ולמנוחה ואת יום הכיפורים הזה למחילה ולסליחה ולכפרה ולמחול בו את כל עוונותינו באהבה מקרא קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים.
On the next page, the blessing at the top.
זכרנו אדוני אלוהינו בו לטובה ופקדנו בו לברכה
Amen.
Amen. Eternal our God, remember us.
Amen.
Be mindful of us.
Amen.
And redeem us for a life of goodness and blessing.
Amen.
Together favor us with words of deliverance and mercy.
Show us the depth of your care. God, we await your redemption, for you reign with grace and compassion.
On the facing page, Eloheinu v'Eloheinu v'Imotenu, together, our
God and God of all generations, on this great Sabbath of forgiveness, forgive our moral failings. On this great Sabbath of goodness, teach us to be satisfied with your goodness.
On this great Sabbath of atonement, purify our hearts to serve you in truth. Blessed are you, Adonai. Year after year you set us on the path from guilt to holiness. Our God and God of all generations,
let us feel your nearness. Let us know your love. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato leTzion.
Amen. We continue with the next bracha. God of goodness, mercy, and hope.
We are grateful for your gifts of love and compassion. Seal us today for a life of integrity lived in covenant with you. God of peace, grant us peace, your most precious gift. You have given us freedom to choose between good and evil, life and death. May we choose life and good, that our children may inherit from us the blessing of peace. May we and the whole family of Israel be remembered and sealed in the book of life.
Blessed is forgiveness, and blessed are goodness, mercy, and love.
Blessed is the nearness of divine presence, and blessed is the hope for peace. Baruch atah Adonai, oseh shalom.
Amen. The last Lichot prayers of this season start on page 640.
on page 641. Before the gate is locked and shuttered, before every word is said and uttered, before I have become something different, something other, before the mind has lost its way, before possessions are packed and put away, before the pavement hardens, here to stay, before the apertures of flutes are sealed, before the laws of nature are revealed, before the vessels break and can't be healed, before decrees and edicts are imposed, before the hand of God has closed, before we rise to leave this place and go.
We're at the top of 644, El Melech Yoshev. V'yered Adonai be'anan, v'yityatzeh imo sham, v'yikra v'shem Adonai. The Eternal descended in clouds, stood with Moses there, and proclaimed, Adonai? Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech ha'payim, Rav chesed ve'emet, Notzeh chesed la'alafim, Noseh avon v'fesha, v'chata v'naken.
Moses prayed to God, as you have been faithful to this people ever since Egypt, please forgive their failings now in keeping with your boundless love.
Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech ha'payim, Rav chesed ve'emet, Notzeh chesed la'alafim, Noseh avon v'fesha, v'chata v'naken. Next page.
Together, forgive us, Avinu, for we have strayed. Pardon us, Malkeinu, for succumbing to sin. You are generous in granting forgiveness, all loving to those who reach out to you.
Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech ha'payim, Rav chesed ve'emet, Notzeh chesed la'alafim, Noseh avon v'fesha, v'chata v'naken.
Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, slach lanu, mechal lanu, kaper lanu. Our God and God of our fathers and our mothers, Forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
On 650 is Ki Anu Amecha for the last time. We did the translation a couple times. Let's just sing. Anybody in the back want to move up? There are empty seats. Mecha ve'ata Eloheinu Anu nanecha ve'ata Avinu On 653 at the top, we go right into Ashamnu, our last confession of the day. On 655 in the middle of the page, we read together. What can we say to you, eternal our God, God of all generations?
In your presence there are no heroes, and great reputations dissolve. The wise appear unlearned, and the discerning look foolish. For all our deeds amount to futility, and the days of our lives emptiness. We human beings are no better than beasts. All is vanity.
Page 657. My God, mighty one of my existence, have mercy on your lost child who has wandered from the ancestral path. I know that you are far beyond me, elevated above my ken, are you, my God. Yet this I know too, somewhere in the hidden places, you sit waiting eternally for the last of your servants who strives to come into your gates in faith.
Please turn to 659 where we recognize our goodness. We'll just read the English together. We loved and we wept. We were kind and spoke thoughtfully. We were faithful and trusting. We put forth effort. We were mindful. We embraced. We took delight in the holy books. We were creative and we yearned. We fought for justice and searched out the good.
We tried our best and we were attentive. We did what you commanded us to do. We found meaning in Torah, and most of the time we did what was right.
We proclaimed your name,
and we were accepting, we were joyful, and we cared.
On page 662, we're going to continue with the last Avinu Malkeinu of the day. Avinu Malkeinu kabel barachim v'ratzon et tfilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, welcome our prayer with love, accept and embrace it. Avinu Malkeinu, aseh leman rachamecha harabim.
Avinu Malkeinu, act for the sake of your boundless compassion.
Avinu Malkeinu aseh imanu leman shemecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, act toward us as befits your name.
Avinu Malkeinu chotmenu b'sefer parnasa v'chalkala.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of sustenance and livelihood.
Avinu Malkeinu chotmenu b'sefer zechuyot.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of worthiness and merit.
Avinu Malkeinu chotmenu b'sefer slicha u'mechila.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of forgiveness and pardon.
Avinu Malkeinu chotmenu b'sefer chayim tovim.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of lives well lived.
Avinu Malkeinu chotmenu b'sefer geula v'yeshua.
Avinu Malkeinu, seal us in the book of redemption and renewal.
Avinu Malkeinu malei yadeinu mi berchotecha.
Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings. Avinu Malkeinu, p'tach sharei shamayim litfilatenu.
Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our prayer.
Avinu Malkeinu chadesh aleinu shana tova.
Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness.
Avinu Malkeinu en lanu melech ela ata.
Avinu Malkeinu, we have no sovereign but you.
Avinu Malkeinu chonenu ve'yanenu ki ein banu ma'asim aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu.
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful,
answer us with grace when our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and love.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, ve'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Vaneinu. Chaneinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu ve'aneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed, ve'hoshienu.
On 667 in the middle, love after love. The time will come when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you. All your life whom you ignored for another, who knows you by heart, take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. The Kaddish Shalem, the full Kaddish is on page 668.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba Amen v'yamadi v'rachirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yom echon uv'chayei dechol mit Yisrael v'hagala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yesh me'Rabba mevorach le'olam le'al me'amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yifa'ar v'yitroma v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemer kudesh berichu le'ela u'le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata tamiran v'yalema v'imru Amen. Titkabal tzloton uvauton dechol Yisrael kadem avuhon v'ishmaya v'imru Amen. Yehesham Rabba Mishmaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael
במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו אמן.
On page 670, we have our final prayers. If there are anybody out in the congregation who's brought a shofar, bring it up now. Otherwise, it's just Rabbi Gorban and me blowing our brains out up here. We're going to skip the Pitchuli. We're going to skip it, okay? We stand as one before the gates of a new year renewed by this Day of Atonement, made stronger by all who are with us and by those whose presence we feel within. As the long day fades into dusk, we join our voices in words of hope and dedication. Pitchu lanu sha'arei tzedek navovam nodea. Open for us the gates of righteousness that we may enter and praise the eternal source of life. Together,
Open for us the gates of sacred community, that we may enter and feel its healing power.
open for us the gates of truth and integrity that we may enter and grow in faithfulness.
Open for us the gates of devotion and principle, that we may enter and find enduring values and meaning.
Open for us the gates of repentance and return that we may enter and offer our best.
Open for us the gates of forgiveness, that we may enter and offer our humanity.
Open for us the gates of kindness and compassion that we may enter and offer our love. As this Shabbaton ends, we say from the heart together,
Living source, you are ours, we are yours.
From beyond time and space, you hold out your hand to receive us.
Living source, you are ours, we are yours.
You are the sovereign of remembrance, the voice of holiness. Your presence lights the way.
Living source, you are ours, we are yours.
Shema Yisrael, hear the shofar. Witness to history, thunder to our souls.
Living source, you are ours, we are yours.
Happy are those who love the sound of the shofar, its mystic chords of memory.
Living source, you are ours, we are yours. Hear the shofar, hear its cry of freedom, its call of courage. Cherish its promise of hope.
Before the last Shema and everything else we do, we'll be going immediately into Havdalah. We have cinnamon sticks for everyone for your own personal spice box this year, and they'll be distributed by willing hands who just grab them and do it. Okay, that's what.
In just a moment.
In just a moment.
After the.
Are you ready? We better move this. We're gonna blow out the system, right? Okay. Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Adonai hu Elohim. 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 There's a bunch of them. Well, you call.
Tekiah, Shivarim, Teruah, Tekiah Gedolah.
Close the ark.
Any kids who are here are welcome to come up for Havdalah.
Any kids from Sheer Joy, please come forward.
Got the lights. Okay. You got the dimmer right here? Dimmer. Come on over. Come on over to the Havdalah table. Lift the cup. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei pri hagafen. Borei pri hagafen. Borei pri hagafen. Come on, the choir, everybody over here. Die, 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 die. Where are your cinnamon sticks? Da 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 da. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei minei v'samim. Borei minei v'samim. Borei minei v'samim. Dai 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 dai. Come up to the dark. Die. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei meorei ha'esh. Look at it and curl your hands and let the light reflect on your fingernails, the first skin Adam and Eve ever had in the Garden of Eden. Borei meorei ha'esh. Die, 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 die. We're just doing a mouth deal. Die, 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 die. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech. Okay, we'll do the whole thing. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Thank you a lot. Oh, Chata Adonai, Hamavdil ben Kodesh Lecho. Do it dramatically. Die, 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 die. Die, 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 die. Eliyahu Hanavi. Grab somebody. Eliyahu Hatishbi. Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi. Bimera ve'yameinu yavo eleinu. Imashiach ben David. Imashiach ben David. Eliyahu Hanavi. Eliyahu Hatishbi. Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi. Because it's Saturday night. Shavua Tov, 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 Shavua Tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. Shana Tova. Light, dimmer. You seem to feel better today.
This afternoon I started to feel